Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett, and we want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are following for your Sunday. Hope you have been enjoying your day. In just a few minutes, we are going to have First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna join us, and he's going to give you a look at the forecast. Just a reminder, you can always send your weather questions in, and we will get to those. But if you want to hang on to the forecast, wait a few more minutes for that. We know it's kind of been a dreary day in parts of the metro, cold and rainy, just one of those days where you want to curl up and do nothing. But we have been busy here at Atlanta News First, and we want to give you a look at some of the stories that we are following. Quick programming note, you can join us tonight at 10 on Peachtree TV, and then our 11 o'clock newscast is actually going on late tonight. It's going to be on after 11:30, so those night owls, bear with us, stay up with us tonight, and we will give you your full forecast and, of course, the latest headlines. But in the meantime, you can always read more on all of these stories on AtlantaNewsFirst.com, or you can go ahead and download our Atlanta News First app. You can get breaking updates sent directly to your phone. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. So we have been following a number of high-profile cases lately. If you've been following us here at Atlanta News First, of course, there is the YSL trial that continues. There is also the Hannah Payne trial that we have been keeping an eye on. And now we are starting another trial tomorrow that's probably going to be pretty long going here in Fulton County. This is in the case of the Public Safety Training Center, as opponents have dubbed it Cop City. So this is one of the defendants in that case. One of the many defendants, I should say, involved in violent protests against the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center. Ayla King is going to stand trial. She is one of 61 people indicted on RICO charges in connection to the protest over the controversial center, and she invoked her right to a speedy trial. Several others are facing separate charges, including domestic terrorism, first-degree attempted arson, and money laundering. So this is one of 61 people that have been indicted on those RICO charges in connection to the Public Safety Training Center. You see in that video there, protests turning violent, and we have been staying on top of all of the developments in this story. If you've been following us for any length of time, you know we have done several stories regarding the Public Safety Training Center and, in turn, the opposition to it. And if you want to get a little bit more background on that, we have plenty of stories about that on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. But the latest is that one of these defendants, Ayla King, she is going to be appearing in court tomorrow regarding these charges. So this is just the latest, again, in a series of trials that we are following. The Hannah Payne trial resumes tomorrow. That is a woman who is accused of chasing down a man, shooting and killing him, saying she claimed that he fled the scene of an accident, and the YSL trial continues as well. And Atlanta News First will be covering all of those things. We will keep you updated both on air and online as we begin the week. The next story we want to tell you about, you may remember we reported this this past week, that a woman is accused of trying to burn down the childhood home of Martin Luther King Jr. In fact, it was caught on camera. That woman was denied bond over the weekend, but two men have been honored this weekend in New York. They are former NYPD officers, and they are credited with saving Martin Luther King Jr.'s childhood home. We have some video of that ceremony here. I'm going to play that out for you now.
We always preach in New York City. We always say, when you see something, say something. And when the police commissioner and I first heard about what occurred in Atlanta, we couldn't have been more proud that it was two NYPD retired officers. And we say, when you see something, say something. But our officers, because once a cop, always a cop, not only did they see something, they did something.
And so here is some video of that ceremony there.
They reacted, no hesitation, protect and serve, and saved a part of American history. And why? As the commissioner said, once a cop, always a cop. It's in your DNA. They might have been retired that day, but they immediately put themselves on duty as 2 New York City police officers, took action, and like I said, saved a part of American history.
When we first pulled up, we just expected to take a picture of the house. That was it, just a picture of the house. And when somebody called us and said that it seemed like he was in distress, that's what got us motivated and moving as well. And when he talked about that the girl was trying to burn the house down right away and then started running away, right away, my brother looks at me and he goes, "What do you think? Should we chase her?" And I said, "Well, yes, let's get her." And I said, "I'm not chasing anybody. I'll get in the car and run after her." I said, "But I'm not running after everybody." So I jumped in the car. He jumped in the car behind me, and we chased the young lady down the street. And at the time, we saw her run across the street. She ran down the alleyway, and that's when my brother jumped out the car, chasing after her. And as soon as he jumped out of the car chasing after her, I want to keep, once again, your police, no matter how long you've been gone, I've been gone for some time, your policing kicks in, and I wanted to keep my eye on him. So as soon as he jumped out and started chasing her down the driveway, I jumped out the car to keep eyes on him and followed him down the driveway. And then I heard him yelling, "Get down, get down, get down." And I didn't even see her yet, but I'm yelling, "Get down," because I want her to know somebody else was there also.
Here we go. Just wanted to play some of that out for you. I didn't mean to cut it off there, but just to give you a little bit of background, those are former NYPD officers Axel Dodson and his older brother Kenneth Dodson. They were honored for chasing down that woman who is accused of trying to torch the childhood home of civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They were just here visiting. They were here on Thursday when they say they saw a man and a woman fighting, and it turns out that those people were trying to prevent the suspect, Lanisha Henderson, from lighting the gasoline that she had poured on the home's front porch. When Henderson fled the scene, those brothers jumped into their respective cars, as they said, and found Henderson in a nearby alley. The two managed to grab Henderson and, without any handcuffs or other police equipment, managed to take her back to the scene, and that is where Atlanta officers took her into custody. So those officers, former officers, I should say, being honored, credited with saving this piece of history. Yasmina Alston is going to have more on that service for us tonight. All right, now, last night,
it was horrible.
You may have heard some storms outside, and we know in Cobb County in particular there was some damage there. We had our Atlanta News First reporter Bridget Spencer head out to the area, and here's what she found. She spoke to a woman who said she's just glad to be alive.
Because I've never heard nothing like that.
Tracy Smith was suddenly awakened by what she describes as a loud boom overnight.
It's scary, you know, it's horrifying. Like, only thing I can think about is my kids. Like, I couldn't even go back to sleep.
And that boom she heard was a massive tree that fell in the yard, breaking the fence and narrowly missing her kid's bedroom.
I'm just glad my Father God was with me and he protected and he guided us. He held a shield over this house, I swear.
That tree got thrown. Launched.
The other neighbors on Timber Creek Lane across the street, unfortunately, were not as lucky. A tree went right through their roof. According to Cobb Fire, there were no reports of injuries.
I'm blessed because I saw what happened over there.
The winds for this system packed a punch, leading many people to clean up the mess. And storms also caused multiple power outages Sunday morning. But Tracy Smith is just grateful for one thing.
Me and my kids are safe and we're blessed and, we still got a home and, somewhere to lay our head.
In Cobb County, Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
As a kid, I was running around and playing in the snow. That snow would you stay in freezing temperatures? Late to it, yeah.
All right, I apologize about that. I had the wrong super up there for a minute, but again, that was storm damage in Cobb County. And in just a minute here, we have First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna joining us. But I do want to play one more story for you this evening. This was a young woman I had the pleasure of meeting this week. and she just has an absolutely remarkable story. She was in an accident, and she allowed the circumstances of that accident to give her a new hope and inspire her to give back to others. So without me explaining too much, I'm just going to let the story speak for itself. This is Hannah Oliver and how she has overcome losing her eye as the result of her sunglasses shattering, how she is now creating her own business and looking to help others.
God wouldn't allow this to happen to me unless he had a plan for me.
Hannah Oliver says she had to find hope after a car crash 2 years ago cost her dearly.
A guy pulled out in front of me, slammed on brakes. I didn't react fast enough and I hit him from behind. And when that happened, of course, the airbag comes out. And as soon as it did, I was wearing my designer cherished sunglasses and they shattered right on impact.
Her eye couldn't be saved.
My eye actually deflated. My retina was detached. My optic nerve was severed.
It took a lot of recovery, physically and mentally.
I did not want this to happen to anybody else, and I just felt that if more people knew about it, that they would think twice before they put a pair of sunglasses on their face.
So Hannah wanted to get the word out there, finding community with more than 100,000 followers on TikTok.
Seems to me that I'm not the only one that lost their eye because of their glasses shattering.
And she saw a need.
I was looking for a sunglass that would protect the only eye I had left. And what I found out, it was very hard to find a pair of glasses.
Hannah took matters into her own hands and created her own line called Blue Eye, sunglasses with shatter-resistant polycarbonate lenses.
A lot of talking to my ophthalmologist, my surgeons, and getting their input on how I can make the safest pair of sunglasses that's also stylish, but 100% protective.
Guys, I just hit this with a sledgehammer multiple times, and it is not breaking.
Each style named after a hospital that helped her on her journey. The Grady, Emory, and Tony.
This is actually after my Oculus.
All done in an effort to give back.
We're giving our portions back to St. Jude's this year. So with every pair purchase, it's going to help somebody in their eyesight again.
And Hannah says although something was lost, something was gained too.
Like, this happened for a reason. This happened for a purpose.
Giving her a new sense of purpose, just an unbelievably inspiring story there. All right, let's go ahead and give you a live look outside tonight. It has been kind of drizzly, kind of dreary, but maybe things will turn around this week. I have First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna joining us now. We're going to get the camera adjusted for him. All right, Fred, what can we expect this week?
Hey, Karli, good evening. We can expect a very cold start. You know, we had such a dreary weekend. The rain on Saturday, off and on. A big chunk of the day on Saturday was actually dry during the day, but then that rain set in, and we had some stronger storms coming in during the overnight hours. Lots of rumbles of thunder, some gusty winds, some storm damage, particularly as you go north and west of Atlanta. And then today, just dreary rain continuing through the day and into the evening hours, but now it is beginning to dry out there. So we are heading in the right direction as far as dry weather is concerned, but we do have some cold air coming in. So let's get a look at the weather maps here, show you what's going on right now. Throughout North Georgia, it is so much colder out there right now than it was just 24 hours ago. In fact, it is 20 degrees colder right now in Atlanta than it was 24 hours ago. Check out the wind speeds. Those are making it feel colder outside right now. The wind is sustained at 25 miles per hour at Hartsfield, Jackson. We are finding a few higher gusts up to about 32 miles per hour right now in Atlanta. So feeling that very gusty wind out there. And because of that, already we're finding feel-like temperatures that are below freezing as you go north of Atlanta into Canton and into Blairsville and Ellijay right now at 32 degrees, and it feels a pretty chilly 36 in Atlanta. The actual air temperature is still in the 40s outside at this point, but again, the wind is making it feel colder. So there's a little bit of rain hanging on for you in Eatonton and Athens. That's moving off to the east and should be out of the picture by about 10 o'clock or so this evening. Skies will be clearing as they already are in West Georgia during the overnight hours. This system is moving away from us. It is going to be a big weather maker as you head up the East Coast. So a little bit of travel trouble is possible at some of the East Coast airports overnight tonight and into early tomorrow from this storm producing heavy rain and strong winds. But what about our weather going forward? Let's take a look at it here, and we are going to be seeing cold start tomorrow morning, so it'll feel like the 20s early tomorrow. Those are actual air temperatures, generally in the upper 20s to lower 30s early in the day. As we go through the day tomorrow, temperatures only reach about 50 degrees in Atlanta, some upper 40s in the northern suburbs, and even cooler than that in the mountains. And most of the day tomorrow will feel, it'll feel 20s, excuse me. And then it'll eventually feel 30s for a while around midday. And by later on in the day, it'll feel more like the lower 40s. So we'll have some sunshine during the day tomorrow, but it's going to be pretty ineffective for us overall. Check out the temperatures tomorrow night, all the way down to near freezing or below freezing again on Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon, it reaches the mid-50s. One thing that we can definitely look forward to for this upcoming work week is for dry weather in place. So that's good news. We will have dry skies. Temperatures, though, will be struggling to get too much above normal this week. Our normal high is 57 degrees. Looks like the best chance of seeing that will be on Wednesday. Tuesday's not far from it, up to about 55, 56 degrees. Wednesday into the upper 50s, but a reinforcing shot of some cool air does settle back in by the end of the work week. Heading into next weekend, there is a low chance of seeing some rain move in on Saturday. Right now, it looks like there's a better chance possibly of getting some on Sunday. Could be even a little bit later on Sunday. So we'll continue to track that as the week goes on. But overall, this does look like a quiet and relatively cool week for us. We're not far off from the start of winter. It's 10, 11 days away from that. So it will be seasonable this week. Some cold mornings, some chilly afternoons, something that we need to get used to here in North Georgia. Have a great night. Karli, when I'm done, I muted the mic, but do I hit end stream? I flipped off the switch and just hit end stream on YouTube and that's it?
No, also on the right-hand side screen, it says, Karli showed me this.
Oh, I see it right here.
Yeah, Karli showed
At the
it to me.
bottom there.
I streamed for 3